Greetings, everybody. It is Steph Davis here. I have a brand new Q&A video to share with you guys today. This time around, my email question came from Jordan, and Jordan's question reads, "Hi, Steph. Getting ready to make some offers on REOs and plan to wholesale them. Are there any certain types of properties that I should be looking for? Or should I just make offers on everything? There are a ton of them on my MLS, and I'm not sure where to begin. Any advice would be appreciated, Jordan." All right, Jordan, that is an excellent question. I get a lot of similar questions from people asking. I know there are some folks out there that advise that you just go on the MLS and shoot out a whole bunch of offers, basically see what sticks, like maybe offer 50% on everything. I strongly suggest against doing that. That's not to say that, it couldn't work, but if you're just slinging out a bunch of lowball offers, you are going to make a lot of agents angry, and you're going to waste a lot of time, both theirs and yours. So the way that I suggest going after properties on the MLS is similar to when you are marketing for marketing to private sellers. You want to look for motivation in the listing. Okay, so I call them motivated listings. You basically want to look through what you have on your MLS and single out the ones where there appears to be motivation. So what to look for? First and foremost, this is the number one thing that I look for, and that is properties that are already priced below market. To me, that is the number one signal that a seller is motivated, is if the price is already priced below market value, okay? And I'm going to show you here in a second. I'm going to go on Zillow and show you how I go about doing this. So you want to look at, you don't want to be going after properties that are priced at retail value, because that is, to me, the strongest indication that the seller is not motivated. So number one, properties that are already priced below market. Number two, high days on market. So, usually sellers tend to get more and more motivated the longer a property sits there. So I tend to stay away from, even if they come out of the gate attractively priced. I know that some wholesalers will, a lot of times banks will put a property on the market, and they'll purposely put it way, way, way below market because they want people to get into a bidding war. That's fine if you want to do that. I don't like getting into bidding wars, and what I have found is when that happens, it usually gets bid up to the highest price that a wholesaler or an investor can pay, and there's not a whole lot of profit. So I like to look at the properties that have been sitting there for a while, properties that have fallen in and out of contract. It can become very stressful if you're a seller, especially if you're already motivated. You get a contract on your property, and then maybe 3 weeks or a month goes by, and for some reason the seller doesn't follow through, whether it be their financing or they change their mind or whatever. That can be very stressful. And I'm going to show you here in a second on Zillow how you can see if a property's fallen in and out of contract. If the home needs a lot of work, that's just another reason. If the house needs a huge rehab, if it's in terrible condition, that's just another thing that can add to a seller's motivation. Multiple price drops are oftentimes be an indication of a seller's motivation. And again, on Zillow, you can see the price drops as well, which I'll show you in a second. And then if the house is vacant, now obviously if bank-owned properties are all going to be vacant, but if you're just looking at any listing on the MLS and if it's a non-bank-owned property, if it's owned by a private seller and it's sitting there vacant, that means, unless it's free and clear, that means that they have a mortgage payment due on that property every month. It's sitting there vacant, so they don't have, they're not living in it, they don't have a renter in it, so they don't have income coming in to cover that mortgage payment. So these are what I look for and how I go about choosing if I'm going to make an offer on a property that's listed on the MLS. There needs to be a reason why, and these are the signs of motivation that I look for. The more of these, the better, obviously. If you've got a house that you're looking at that's priced below market, it's been sitting there languishing on the MLS for, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months. If it's fallen in and out of contract, needs a lot of work, they've dropped the price a bunch of times, it's vacant, that is the sweet spot for me. So I'm going to go over to Zillow here and oopsie. Alright, so this is a town in Illinois called DeKalb, Illinois. It's actually near where I grew up. My dad is looking for a property to rehab, so I've been doing some research for him. So I just have single family homes that are for sale in DeKalb pulled up here, and I zoomed in on part of the map just to kind of show you how I go about doing this. Now, like I mentioned, the very first thing that I look for when I go into the MLS or I go onto Zillow and I'm trying to figure out properties that I want to make offers on or try and find properties that I want to make offers on, the very first qualification that I look for is I'm looking for homes that are already priced below market value. I don't want to go in and, find properties that are recently rehabbed, completely redone, they need no work, and they're priced at retail value. You're just going to be wasting your time making offers on those, making low offers on those. So you want to find homes that are already priced below market. Basically, the easiest way to do that is just take a look at the map here at the individual listings and the price points and see if there are any that are priced below what the ones around them are priced at. So the first one that stuck out at me is this one that's listed at 44 right here. So we've got one right next to it for 116, 169, 103, 125. So I'm going to click on that and see what is going on. If you take a look at right here, it says it's been listed for 70 days, so that's not an eternity, but it's not, relatively, it's not a very short period either. So next I want to look at the condition of the home, and if you take a look at these pictures here, it looks like it's in pretty rough shape. So far so good for this listing. Then we're just going to scroll down, and it says that it was foreclosed by the bank, and the bank listed it on April 23rd. Now, the next section that I want to look at is extremely important. You can learn a lot about what has gone on with the property. It's a price and tax history, so I'm looking at the price history part of it here. It basically gives you the history of when it was listed, price changes, if it went under contract, when it was sold, how much it was sold for, all of that. So this is actually kind of interesting. Let me go back here just a little bit. This was sold, so somebody purchased this last January of 2018 for $89,000, and then they immediately put it back on the market. Let me see if I can see. It doesn't say what they listed it for. They immediately put it back on the market, and then a couple months later, in March, they have the price lowered to $79,000. So they bought it in January for $89,000, and by March they have it listed for $79,000, which apparently they did not know what they were doing. And then they raised the price to $85,000, and then dropped it to $82,000, and then somewhere along the line, I'm guessing after December, it was foreclosed on by the bank, and then the bank relisted it, or they listed it in April of this year for $59,900. Okay, so we have somebody bought it, they apparently didn't know what the heck they were doing, tried to sell it, didn't sell, and then it got foreclosed on by the lender. Lender puts it back on the market for $59,900 in April. So started at $59,900, in June they dropped it to $55,000, in July they dropped it to $44,000. So this is definitely something I would be interested in putting an offer on, and I wouldn't have a problem offering low. I might try something like $25,000 to start with. If they get mad, they get mad. A lot of times too, what I'll do is I'll call the agent and let them know, try and get some information about the property and where the bank is at, and let them know ahead of time, like, hey, I'm interested in this property. It's not going to be anywhere near what the list price is. Now, sometimes they will say something like, don't even waste your time. We just got an offer for, we just got an offer for $5,000 less than list price, and the bank will not budge. They are stuck on their price. So in those cases, I just, I don't want to waste the agent's time. If they say something like, well, I don't think that they'll take anything really low, then I just go ahead, I say, well, I'm going to try anyway. Can you just submit it, and I'll submit a low offer. But, this is something that I would have no problem making a low offer on. It's been listed 70 days. It needs a lot of work. They've had 3 price drops, so this would fit onto my list of properties that I would make offers on. Alright, so let me just show you one more example here of what I am looking for, and I'm going to pick this one here that's listed at $93,000. It's listed right next to one. It looks like it's on the same street as one listed at $180,000. Now there's also one listed at $90,000, $115,000, $196,000, but I just want to kind of show you some of the characteristics in this one and why I would make an offer on it. So first thing here, you can see that it's been listed for almost 4 months, 113 days, which is quite a substantial amount of time. If we scroll down, the exterior of the property actually looks to be in pretty good condition, both the front and the back. The interior, however, is in dire need of updating, as you can see. So next I'm going to go scroll down and look at the price history. So let's expand this. And okay, so this was listed for sale in March of this year. They started out at 110. They changed the price about a month later, dropped it down to 97, and then you see it says pending sale here, so it went under contract. And then it came back on the market with another price drop, and then in May it went under contract again, and then they put it back on the market, and then they changed the price again. They dropped the price to 93, which is where it is now. So this one has, it's been on the market for quite a while, 113 days. The interior needs quite a bit of updating. It has gone under contract and then come back out of contract twice, and there have been 3 price changes. So this is a perfect example of a home that I would put an offer in on, and my dad is actually seriously considering making an offer on this. I'm still doing some research with the comps and everything, so we'll see how that goes. But hopefully this gives you, hopefully this was helpful to those of you who are considering going after properties on the MLS. I know it can be kind of overwhelming, but hopefully this helps give you an idea of which listings to go after. You want to be going after those motivated listings and stay away from the properties that are in perfect condition. They've just been completely rehabbed and or they're priced at retail value. Go after the motivated listings, because that is typically, or at least in my experience, I have gotten my biggest discounts and made the highest amount of profits on those motivated listings. So one more thing that I forgot to add towards the beginning is if you're using Zillow to look up listings and run comps and all of that, do not, if you're trying to figure out what the ARV or the retail value is of a property, do not go by the Zestimate. All right, it can be accurate sometimes, but most of the time it's way off. So when you're trying to determine the ARV of a property, you need to do that by looking at recent sales and not this estimate. Just wanted to throw that in there because I forgot earlier. All right, that is all for today. If you guys have any questions, you can drop them below this video in the comments section. I will see you guys next time. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye-bye.